Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to tonight's very first live session called the Ultimate Live Book Unpack session. I have the wonderful Jay Walling on mute at the moment. We've had a bit of a chat before we were welcoming you guys and seeing you all trickle through, and more people are arriving as we speak. First of all, my name is Natasha Denman, and I'm just so proud. I've put all these books up of the Ultimate 48-Hour Authors who are getting theirs nearly finalized now. But before I get on with anything, just want to make sure that you guys can hear me and see the PowerPoint presentation. I've got a hi from Rennie. Hey, Rennie, nice to see you. There's heaps more people still coming through, guys. Just to give you the heads up, the internet has been playing up a little bit at my place the last, today actually. I've been away. So if anything happens, just trust we're going to come through back maybe from a telephone if the audio drops out. So just stay on the call, and if possibly it's me and not you. But let me know if I disappear on you. Hey, Marianne, great to see you. Darren, excellent. Faye, Joan, and Rosie. Okay, you're welcome, everybody. And you're already saying thank you, and I haven't even given you any values yet. So I do encourage you to have lots and lots of questions at the end, though, because obviously this is going to be a special session for Jay, and we're going to be unpacking her book. So I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of what happens during a book unpack session. We're going to have about 40 minutes to do that, because I'm taking up about 5 minutes of the intros, and as well as obviously the last 15 minutes we'll open up the call for a bit of Q&A as to what happened. And I've got an awesome little gift to share with you at the very end. Hey, Michelle, Susie, and Russell. And yes, so jot down all your questions as you thinking of them as we're talking or unpacking the book, because that way you have them ready for me. And if you even wanted to, you can type them up ahead of time. That way I don't have to wait for the questions once I have finished with Jay, and I can get stuck into answering everything. I will stick around as long as it needs to answer all of your questions, but I will try to get you guys out on time. I'm always very diligent with time, because I know a lot of people have lots of different things to do, and as we are pretty late in the night, 9 o'clock, I want you guys to go back and enjoy it and rest for the rest of your evening and families. But just for the benefit of those of you who have never met me or heard me on a call, very briefly I'll introduce myself and my background. So my background comes from a human behavior and mindset sort of qualifications through having completed a psychology degree, as well as your coaching qualifications. And most importantly, though, I'm a proud owner of 4 different brands of businesses, and especially my latest baby, the Ultimate 48-Hour Author, which is the brand that you have come through under tonight. And I have authored 4 books myself. And as you saw on that previous slide, about to have 10 more books come out from the October 48-Hour Author weekend. And we've got our Feb 1 full, April booking up. And it's just a whole lot of fun helping a whole lot of people become authors and really leverage their business through their books. So what my specialty is, and this is what we'll be working with Jay. And to tell you the truth, honestly, Jay and I have never met. I wanted someone who I didn't know much of. I pretty much didn't know from a bar of soap, because I just wanted to explore this with someone that, is completely raw, and I don't know their business. I really don't know what they want. Obviously she's had a desire to write a book, and that's why she put her hand up as a volunteer. But it'll be fun to just get to know her and explore with her as it would happen with anyone that I didn't know. So absolute passion to help business owners create books around their businesses so they can establish themselves as a credible expert, and become that key person of influence, that go-to person that people will always look up to and tend to hire over people who are not published authors. That's certainly what happened in my first brand, Ultimate Weight Loss. Is 13 months after I started that business, my book came out, The 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss, which you can see here on the bottom right of your screen. And that's the thing that truly filled my coaching practice full rim. and I never looked back. Never had to, have never needed to even think about going back to a day job, and never will in the future. So I really feel amazing. And look, I don't even know how many books I'll end up writing, and at this rate, I'm doing probably nearly 2 a year. So it's really fantastic. All right, guys. So enough about me. Let's go, and I'll show you who Jay is, and I've actually left a bit of a um, an area here on this PowerPoint. That's Jay, and she's got a website and a business called thelivingstudio.com.au, so you can check her out. And what I'll do as I'm chatting to her, I'll actually take the notes on this left-hand side of the screen so you can actually see what I type up and how I do it instead of in front of me on a piece of paper. So let's get her onto the call. By the way, thanks, Russell, for saying thanks, Natasha, for all the value that I know you'll provide in this great session. All right, let's get that off and get Jay off mute and get started. Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. How am I sounding?
Excellent. You're coming through good. So let's I'm just trying to get the PowerPoint onto a where I can actually type on it. All right, this is my notes section, and I'll type on it in there. Cool. Excellent. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about, or tell me, let's pretend it's just you and I. That way it's a lot easier. Can you tell me a little bit about your business,
Okay,
when you started
sure.
it, and also like who's your target market, and just give me a little bit of an overview and a summary or what your thoughts about your business are and what you wanted to do, and what kind of book have you been thinking about?
Okay. Well, just briefly, I started, I guess, playing with my business in about mid-May, and essentially what I do is I help people who have issues with weight loss and body image. So, and
Yeah.
I do that through a variety of ways. I've got a long history in nutrition and food, some formal studies, some informal, all because I wanted to know how to do it for myself. So my ideal client, I guess, would be somewhere between the ages of 30 and 55.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, they don't have to have a problem with their weight. It's more about body image and being okay in the skin that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, what was the next question, Natasha? Sorry.
So you're, I think you've pretty much covered off what I wanted to ask you. 30 to 55 years. So what is,
hmm
have you also had this problem yourself? Like, have you overcome a weight issue or body image issue?
Yeah, I've been everywhere from 30 kilos overweight to about 25 kilos underweight.
Wow.
So I've been really big and I've been extremely thin.
Yeah.
I've also been a bodybuilder,
Oh, wow.
and I know really, really know what it's like, and can acknowledge anybody who has a really bizarre body image and doesn't see who they are when they look in the mirror.
So it's really not really about weight loss. It is more about that, body image. However, what I would say is, um, well, I mean, your book could be targeted on could be almost two way, like for people who are underweight and those that are overweight, because it kind of, as you said, you've been at the two ends of the spectrum, and I haven't, have you seen that show on
Mm.
I don't know, on Foxtel? What is it? What is it called? Um, um, it's on the tip of my tongue. If anyone who's listening knows which show, I think when the person is really overweight and then the other one is supersized and maybe um undersized. I don't know what it is, but one person is very, very thin and the other one is very obese. Um, so I'm just thinking, what about the book?
Okay.
What about the book that you've been thinking about writing? Well, what do you want to write it on this specific topic?
Um, I really would like to share with people my experience of what that's like to grow up in a family that has weight issues and what it's like to find your way and what really worked for me at the end of the day is what I want to share with people. So,
I
I
think
mean,
that.
people are probably not so much interested in my story, but more
Mm.
interested in strategies to get themselves out of the hole that they find themselves in.
Yeah, what I am hearing is that what your story is going to also inspire them to want to listen to the strategies and the tools that you use to actually solve your problem. So what we're looking for when we're
Mm,
creating a book is we're looking for a solution to a problem. And I think perhaps that there's
mm-hmm,
a quite interesting niche market there. I really, really like it. So actually the target market is, yeah, potentially 30 to 5 year olds, women, or would you say they were?
mm-hmm, definitely. It's mostly women, but men are starting to become more and more prevalent with this problem as well.
Okay, so when we're thinking of a target market, though, we really got to get specific. We really got to get to someone, even like that age gap is way, way too broad. So when I actually talk
Okay.
to people about a target market, like for example, let me give you an example of Lose the Last 10 Kilos because that's obviously one of my brands. So Lose the
Mm-hmm,
Last 10 Kilos, so her name is Sarah, and Sarah is 35 years old, and she has got two children,
mm-hmm,
and she's married, and she earns $50,000 a year, and she still
mm-hmm.
has not lost that pre baby weight that's been lingering on now for a while, probably for about 6 years. And she's frustrated
Yeah.
because she's no longer, that sexy slim person. Now the weight issue for Sarah is not about um, health. It's actually about vanity. Okay, so she still wants
Mm,
to feel sexy, be admired by other men, and like she likes to be pretty. So do you know what I mean? Like when I'm talking about that person,
yeah.
there's this one person in my mind who it is, and guess what? Who Sarah was? Sarah was exactly me. Sarah was me about 8 or 9 years ago because I had those last 10 kilos to lose, and that's why I chose that niche. So what I'm kind of thinking is
Mm-hmm.
target market is actually your past self. Okay. So I'm not sure how
It's
old you
funny you should say that.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to be really honest here,
Yeah.
and I'm 39, going on 40,000 years old.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, and you're probably right. It probably is the person that I'm trying to give this to is me.
Yep, exactly right. Because you know what? We don't write books for anyone else. We actually are writing books for our past self. Okay. And that's a very key point for everyone
Mm-hmm.
that's on the call to realize when we write books or programs, we're actually writing the solution to our past self. Okay. We're actually giving the message to that Jay who was perhaps in her early 30s, or I don't know, maybe it was a whole range of years that you were going through all of this. But I really like the fact that there was an overweight
Mm-hmm.
and then an underweight issue as well in this, because I think there's a niche within that. So the target market, let's say it's a 35-year-old woman, and definitely it's going to stem from your own story of the and the journey, and the actual niche within the niche, Jay, is people. I guess
Yeah.
yo-yo dieters would we call them? So that have been over and underweight.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I'm already getting an idea in my head. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah, you'd be right.
let's just write it down. I'm getting an idea of we could call this something with the word yo-yo. The I'm not gonna say this is the main title, but yo
Yeah.
yo-yo be gone or something. I don't know. I'll just put it down. It's not the final thing.
Mm,
And you can come up with ideas, of course.
yeah.
Now, the next thing that I do with people is what we want to do is let's elicit on your journey, what are the things that you have done to solve your problem? So we want to go through some steps, and we want to just basically list 12 sections in boring terms. Okay, these don't need to be sexy yet, but I'm going to write down 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Now, I get most of my authors to do 12 chapter books because a 12 chapter books turns into an awesome
Yeah.
12-step program, a 12-month program, a 12-week program. It turns into 12 ebooks. It could be run as a retreat. It could be turned into other products like audios and things like that. So a 12 chapter book
Hmm.
is a nice number and it's a nice chunk. So it's not a rule of thumb, but that
Yeah.
is what I normally suggest. So why don't we have a play with 12? Um, so tell me,
Okay, let's go for it.
yeah, tell me a little bit about what are the things that you did, and you don't have to tell me in order because the ordering comes after this, okay? And usually, and we might not get around to ordering things tonight,
Okay.
but you'll know what I mean. So give me,
Hmm.
in boring terms, all the things that you actually did around overcoming your yo-yo way of your weight.
Okay, well, I guess the first thing that I did was I had to look at my lifestyle.
Okay, so maybe we'll look at we'll
Um,
put down lifestyle. Yep.
um, I had to assess where I was at.
So yeah, where am I at? You mentioned before nutrition, so that would have been a big part of what you did as well.
I did.
We're just
Oh yeah, I think I've read just about every book on nutrition, text and non-text, that I could get my hands on.
fair enough.
Obviously, I exercised.
Yep. So exercise.
Well, not obviously, because not everybody does, but I did.
You did. Yep. What other strategies did you?
I yeah, I I read books by people who'd done it before me.
So education.
So I guess that could be called getting a mentor. Yeah, education mentor.
Education. Yep. Let's just put it down. What else did you do?
Um,
Did you work with
I
a
had
coach?
to God, I spent a lot of time getting. Did I work with a coach?
Yep.
No.
No, no, that's okay.
Um, I never had a personal trainer and I never had a weight loss coach.
Okay, cool.
Um, I had to, I had to do a lot of my own um, assessment as I was going.
So,
So
check in,
what do
check
they
in.
call that? Like test and measure.
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
We can just,
checking. Yeah, test and measure checking.
yep. Check in where you are at. Yeah. All right. What else did you do?
Yeah,
Was there
yeah.
certain things that you did around working your
Um,
mindset?
yeah, there was. I used a lot of because I'm a highly visual person.
Hmm.
I I had a lot of pictures stuck around on the fridge and notes to myself, and so affirmations and pictures and things like that. Um, what else did I do?
So maybe like
God.
a visualization.
Yeah, I used visualizations. Um, I had to I had to figure out where I wanted to go.
Yep. So
So I had to set goals.
okay, so we might put that under. Yeah, we can just put goal setting because we'll sexy it up in a minute. What else? Did you have
Yeah,
any?
yeah, because goal setting's not very sexy.
No, no, no. And did you have
Um,
any
I
support from anyone else?
I did get yeah, I did go and get counseling around my mindset and the reasons behind
Mm-hmm.
why I was up and down in my weight all the time. Well, not all the time, but quite drastically.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm just gonna put that under mind work, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I changed what I did a lot. So I was willing to try new things all the time.
Yep. So would you say
So
that's
I don't know.
stepping
I
out?
just
Would that be stepping out of the comfort zone?
oh hell yeah, yeah, definitely had to do a lot of that.
Okay. I might just put it comfort zone. It's a bit long for here. Um, you said trying new things. So, oh, what about what we say behavioral flexibility? So
Yeah.
changing the things that
Oh,
are,
and I had to get selfish.
yep, nice one. So selfish. And what about is this
Yeah, yeah,
I think we have a big
yeah.
delay here. Sorry guys. I think there's a big delay in the audio, so I think you're hearing me late and I'm I'm hearing you late as well. What I was going to say is um not self what was the other thing that I mentioned? It's just slipped my mind. Um things
Behavioral
yes,
flexibility.
behavioral flexibility. Now, behavioral flexibility might go into comfort zone. What about maintenance? Like now that how long have you maintained a healthy weight now?
Oh, about 18 years.
Wow. Okay. So, is there certain things that you do now that you're maintaining, like that obviously
Uh,
work for you?
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay. So we'll put down chapter 12 as maintenance because that will be something people will want to know.
Oh,
What?
there was one other thing.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And that was I don't know, it might fit into one of the other things, but I
Mm-hmm.
had to figure out my health issues, like my physical health issues as well.
All right. So what I might do is I might put together lifestyle and where am I at together. I might just leave it as lifestyle, and then we might put here physical health. I think that's a big section that you can fill out with a lot of content. Physical health. Okay. Is that cool
Yeah.
with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So let me just talk through a little bit what we've done, and then we're going to go and sexy them up. So basically, guys, what we've done,
Yeah, that sounds grand to me.
we've we have elicited from Jay what her journey in terms of not being a yo-yo dieter or a person who's gone seriously up in their weight and then really underweight. So these are all the things that she did. Now, if someone picked up a book like this, they wouldn't want to read it because as much as this is what people need, that is not what they want. And when we're writing a book, we really need to be selling people what they want. Okay, so we sell them the fantasy. Okay, we need to sell people the magic bullet. especially when it comes to weight and health. People want, to drink a drink and then, all their health issues are solved. But we know that that's not true. And we know that it takes a lot of hard work, determination, consistency. And as Jay has said, there's certain things that she does every single day to maintain where she's at now. So what we'll do now is we'll go back from 1 to 12, and we're gonna figure out some sexy names for them. So sexy names is telling people what they want. So really, we want to make them hypnotic, and we want to use hypnotic words like hypnotic words are things like secrets and power and instant and fast and easy, simple, you, master, design, discover, unleash, all of those kind of things. Now we're going to go through and just do a bit of kind of fun stuff in terms of making these, sexy, but there's a few different ways you can have it done. So I will explain those once we have finished, but we'll have a little bit of a play with just the simple way of getting these chapter names into sexy names. All right, Jay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Lifestyle. So this was all about, what kind of lifestyle you were living at the time and where you were at. So maybe this particular step could be called reality check, something along those lines. So that's kind of sort of interesting for people to go, oh, what is this reality check? Let me do, or a reality check on self, on you, something along those lines. Let's just have a look what it looks like. We might come back to that. We never actually stop and go, oh no, we'll go for something else. We'll just come up with all 12, and then we'll go back and have a look which ones we like, which ones we would want to change and tighten up and all that sort of stuff. Now we've got physical health. So, and feel free to obviously jump in, Jay, because I know I've done this a few times, so I tend to go blah, 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 because we've got limited time. Physical health. So this was about taking stock of where your physical health was. Is that correct?
And like looking at my I guess it's about checking your health markers, what your family history is and where you're headed in relation to that and what was happening with me at the time. So it was it was about genetic predisposition, genetic trap.
So it could be,
I don't know.
Genetics. Something like your genetics revealed, or something like that.
What about?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, or check your genetics.
Yeah.
Just check your genetics, or because it's nice and sort of rhymey almost.
Check your genetics. Genetics. Or the truth about genetics? No? Reality check on self, check genetics. Genetics. Genetics unlocked from Russell.
Biological track.
People are actually having a bit of a play with us. So actually, guys, I'd love for you to give us some ideas. I've got Leonie says cellular memory. I like that. Cellular memory. You like that?
That's nice.
All right, let's use it. Cellular memory. That's
good.
Leonie Lomax. Nice one. Let me just delete those guys that have been there so I can okay. Yes. Okay, everyone likes that
Good
one.
on you, Leonie.
Cool. All right. So let's go to the next one, guys. You help us out because we've got 10 minutes to get this through. Or actually 15, so that's all right. And or another one from her was throughout generations, but I like cellular memory. I like that. All right, nutrition. So let's make nutrition sexy, guys. Okay. So nutrition. So
Yeah.
people don't want, they need nutrition, but they want to be able to eat what they
Food,
want.
food, glorious food.
Yeah, that could be it. Food, glorious food. Russell said you eat what you are.
Yeah, food,
Desirable.
glorious food.
Yeah, food, glorious food. You're liking that? Okay, let's go. Food, glorious food. Now I've got a couple of
Yeah.
here just to share with you. Leonie had desirable eating was one, and Russell had you are what you eat. Deirdre says unleash your sex goddess with
Yeah.
food. She goes the unleash your sex goddess with food. Glorious fuel from Ambika. Any of those sitting better, or you like your one?
I like
Like your one?
I like the you are what you eat because it is partially true. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's kind of 90% true. What we put
Mm-hmm.
in is what we get out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, you can put that as an
Um,
option. You are what you eat.
yeah.
We can just put that there so we know. We had food, sexy food from Deirdre. She's going
Mm-hmm.
on to the sexy bandwagon. Cool. All right. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah,
Exercise.
sexy's good. Sex sells.
Yeah, it does. Full food, sexy food. Let me just make this a bit bigger so I can fit it all in one line. Exercise. All right, let's go with exercise. Maybe make exercise seem easy.
Um, well, it is.
Easy and
You've
fun
just got to get off the sofa. Um,
for couch potatoes from
um,
Leonie. So maybe
yeah. Um, what about your body?
what is it? I've just lost you for a second.
Rock your body?
Rock your body.
Oh, am I back now?
Yeah, you are. Rosie said, let me just read out some of
Yeah.
the comments. Rosie has said, really, I think sex and food has a lot to do with it. Fair enough. Leonie says, exercise for couch potatoes. Rosie says, delicious dichotomies of food. I think that's a bit. I don't even know what dichotomies mean. Even English is not my first language, but we want to keep it simple, guys. Rosie said, Jay, this is a very much like our community project I'm currently engaged with and promoting here in Perth. Okay, that's interesting. You guys can connect. Deirdre,
That's interesting.
yeah, fast and easy steps to change. So that could be the exercise, fast and easy steps to change. Russell said fit.
Yeah. E easy and effortless change.
Is it? But is it? Are we saying it's about movement? Easy and
Yeah, and it is really just about getting off your bum and doing something.
I think it's a bit too long. Easy and effortless change. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's go with
Okay.
education mentor. Um, I was gonna say think yourself slim on, but it's not just about slimness. It's not just about weight loss. So, oh, what about knowledge is power?
Yeah, knowledge is power.
So that could be because that's hypnotic. Then test and measure. Test and measure. Check in.
How on earth do you make that sexy?
Um, well, there is a way. Test and measure. It's about, you know, discover, uh, like, when you test and measure, you end up finding out what works and what doesn't work. So what about discover,
Yeah,
um, yes, discover the key to your success, uh, discover your body magic.
discover what works for you.
What about discover
What was that again? Sorry.
your body magic formula, something like that, like something
Yeah,
along those lines. It might just need to be tightened up. Um, but sorry guys, I can't read
yeah.
all of them. I'm trying to like just look through some comments to see what I would, if I'm not reading it out, I'm sort of saying that maybe think again. Unleashing the secrets to success, throwing out the barriers. Russell saying look at me. Unlocking the secret, fit guru. Okay, so discover your body magic formula. So test and measure, discover, or your body magic formula could just be your body magic formula.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Keep it simple. Visualization. Um, visualization.
Look where you're going.
More about, I would think it's more about creating that picture in their mind, like bringing that dream body or bringing their ideal body image into reality through visualization. Dare to Dream from Rainy. Hey Good Looking from Russell. Hey Good Looking. Could be. You know. Oh, what about from mind to mirror? From mind to mirror.
What about imagine the real you?
Imagine or
From
picture
mind to
picture.
mirror. Nice.
You like that one? I think.
I like mind from mind to mirror. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to goal setting. Goal setting could be it's starting with the end in mind, or just the end in mind, or it could be about what about to blueprint to body image success or something like that. Blueprint to
Blueprint.
your body success.
Yeah. To
The blueprint to your body success. Um,
yeah.
and we've got Joan,
Yeah.
body blueprint. Do you like that better? Body blueprint's a bit shorter.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah. Body
Yeah,
blueprint. That's
it's
cool.
a bit better. Thank you, Joan.
Yeah.
All right, mind work. Well, mind work is also sexy. I don't mind work. I I think it's pretty simple and short. So
Mm.
I don't know. We can change it. Russell says mind play, so it could be mind.
Yeah.
So maybe yeah. So rather than say, I like that, Russell, mind play, because it's, we don't want to say
What
work,
about
because work is embedding that it's going to be hard, whereas play is embedding that it's going to be easy and playful.
know your own mind?
Might be a bit long, but I'll write it in.
Okay.
Know your own mind. Okay. Or crack. Uh, what is it? Crack your mind. Unlock your mind. Somehow along those lines. Let's keep going. Comfort zone. Comfort zone. All right.
Break through the barriers or break the barrier.
What about beyond? Beyond the
Oh,
beyond the boundary or barrier?
beyond barriers.
Beyond barriers. Okay. Cool. I like that one. Selfish. I like this. A lot of people need to know to be selfish. I think we should use this word in it. Learn to be selfish.
Yeah, learn to be selfish.
Because a lot of people go, I don't know how to do that. I'm always putting myself last.
To be selfish.
Or
That is true.
beyond your limits from Deirdre. I don't mind that either. From Deirdre, I like beyond your limits. Let me just go beyond your comfort zone. No, crossing the threshold. Crossing the threshold also from Darren. Self-indulgence, deservability. Okay. Let's play with the last one. We can always come back to this. Maintenance. Maintenance can be.
Oh, that's nice.
Which one? Which one? Jay?
Which I sorry, I liked the crossing the threshold.
Crossing the threshold. That was for number 10. I'll just pop it in here. Crossing the threshold. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do the maintenance because we're about 3 minutes off 8:45. And we've got a couple of suggestions actually for the. I actually really like this from Russell for the whole book. The yo-yo stops here. That's not too bad. The yo-yo stops here.
Sure.
And cool. Selfish means everyone benefits.
Yeah.
Cool. Smashing the yo-yo from Darren or smashing the yo-yo. Smashing the yo-yo. There you go. Joan says the yo-yo effect, and that could be yo-yo effect. Okay. All right, let's think on the last one before we that's plenty. And we've got Deirdre goes, secrets to permanent change could be maintenance. What do you think of that one, Jay? Because everyone wants their change to be permanent.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Cool. All right, well, let's just go through this a little bit because obviously there's a little bit more refining that we would do. I generally would spend minimum 60 minutes and sometimes even 90 minutes on a book unpack with
Yeah, that's
someone.
good.
And this is pretty much the skeleton for us, and that doesn't mean that we can't now refine it, go back to some of them and go, oh look, that's not really the way it should be. But now when we look at it, let's say the yo-yo stops here, we've got an awesome book about helping women who have throughout life been overweight and underweight constantly, and this is about the steps and the journey that you undertook to get to the point where you were healthy and you have now maintained your ideal weight for 18 years. So, you've got reality check on self, cellular memory, you are what you eat, you've got easy and effortless change, knowledge is power, your body magic formula, from mind to mirror, body blueprint, knowing your own mind or mind play, beyond barriers or crushing the
Mm-hmm.
threshold, learn to be selfish, and secrets to permanent change. So, do you want to buy this book? I always like to ask people that
Nice.
once we've
Yes, I'm.
awesome. So, what might do, Jay, is it okay if
Yeah, I definitely picked that up.
yeah. Can I put you on mute because we are having quite a lot of delay, and you can then talk to me while I've got you like through the question box, just so I can explain a few things to everyone, and I can talk to you anyway later after the call, to clarify more things. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Cool. All right.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Cool. Thanks, Jay. Sorry, guys. I know there was a little bit of a delay where I would say something and then it took a few seconds for Jay to hear me. But you know what? At the end of the day, we have done it, and we have completed the basic skeleton of this book. Now, there's a few different ways you can actually go about naming chapters, and I will tell you. So this is one way. The way we did it, we had a bit of a play around, and we didn't worry about how many words were in the chapter titles. Another very impactful way to name chapters is to use just one word for each chapter. So, for example, number one, instead of saying reality check on self, it would be you might use just reality, and number two might be cellular, and number three might be yummy. Instead of nutrition, you might put yummy. And number four, instead of exercise, you might say play. Things like that. So that can have a lot of impact. Secondly, it's another good way and a quite impactful way to do it is to just use two words in each chapter. And Russell, who's been great at contributing on this call tonight, has done that for his book coming up soon. So we've used two words for every chapter, as well as for his actual full book name, which is called Free Time. And so for this particular book, Jay's book, we could be using number one could be just reality check. Number two is already got two words, so cellular memory. Number three could be yummy food or glorious food. Number four can be, move and play, or a playful movement, something along those lines. So then there's that type of naming where you're consistently using two words for every chapter title. The third way, or the fourth way actually, is to intertwine a metaphor throughout all of the chapter names. So what I mean by that is at the moment I'm reading a book on social media, and it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. So what that means is this guy has used the metaphor of boxing, and each of his chapters is called round one, round two, round three, round four, and so on. And he keeps using the boxing metaphor in terms of how you utilize social media to sell. So jab, jab, jab is about give value, give value, give value, and then right hook is when you ask for the sale. So it's like give, 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 ask. And so when you're putting together a book, so for example, we've got Jay's book here, we might choose, a certain metaphor that we might want to follow. Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of one exactly, but, sometimes I've had a client who wanted to use, food as the metaphor, and then her chapters were going to be called ingredient one, ingredient two, ingredient three. So it just depends, if the person is really sort of wanting to use a certain metaphor, then that's the thing that would, you know, that can flow throughout all the words. So then you look for all the words that have that meaning, and then you inject them into the chapter names. So that can have a really, really nice flow. So as you can see, there's 4 different ways that you can do your chapters, but make sure that you're selling people what they want, that it's easy, that it's simple, that it's fun, that it's a system. So here Jay has a 12-step system, a 12-chapter book, as I said, a 12 sessions that she can run with her clients, that she can create a whole program around this. not just the book. So the book might be the smaller version, whereas the program may be the whole full blown out version with all the exercises and things that people need to do throughout that. So I've just got a question here. Mbeka says, could you please repeat the name of the book on social media? Yes, Jab, 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 Right Hook. I don't know. Don't ask me who it's by. I can't remember. Just sort of you'll be able to find it on Kindle. So the next steps after what we've just done here is obviously to go back and to see if Jay needs to reorder these, which definitely I would be reordering them because goal setting would probably go somewhere closer to the top. Also comfort zone. So she would need to have a look at them and what's the logical order she would put them in. And she'd then look at her journey in terms of what she did first, second, third, and how did she take those actions in order to bring it out in a logical sequence. So then it's the reordering and making sure that the sexy names that she's chosen are what she wants to stick with. And you know what? It's not about actually keep thinking and thinking and thinking and keep changing. You know what? Go back to them 2 or 3 times, then let it go. Get on and move on to the content. So then the next steps would be for us to go through and help her unpack each of the chapters because obviously it's one thing to think of the broad topics. Another thing is then to now let's really unpack and chunk it right down as to what's going to go into each of the chapters and then for her to be able to go ahead and write her book. So there's quite a few things involved, but when you see your skeleton of the book, it really does make you feel so excited. I every time I decide to do a new program or a new book, I just kind of go, okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to have? Now, in the event that Jay now comes up with extra topics that she goes, oh, I forgot to put that in. Oh, I forgot to put that in. So what I would then encourage her to do, and I encourage you to do for yourselves, is to actually pop in those topics into the relevant area of the 12. Because I'm sure in those 12 chapters, you could create a subtopic where you can insert that. Okay, so don't I wouldn't say go through a whole new chapter. Maybe you can compact two others and create a whole unique one if it's really, really different. But most things may fit into this structure of 12. So if she comes up with extra ideas, I would say to her, go in and just write yourself little notes. So I would then get her to pull out 12 A4 pieces of paper and she'll write her chapter titles at the top and start creating some notes and obviously following them through in terms of what she's going to unpack and how she will unpack it, which I would have to show her to how to do that in a systematic way, because everything that we do in terms of Ultimate 48-Hour Author has got a system, it's got a flow, and you know, if you follow the flow, you get your book done within that weekend. So I want to thank Jay from the bottom of my heart for being an amazing volunteer. Now, please, the floor is open to some questions. So while I'm waiting for you guys to actually type up any questions if you have for myself or Jay, and I'm happy to take her off mute again, you know, once, you know, if you do have any questions for her. But I also want to give this opportunity to you, for you guys, if you do want to get your book unpacked, because often people ask me, how, I wish I could get it done for myself. And what I've done tonight is decided that I would give 5 people only because it's that time of the year and some of them I won't be able to do before next Wednesday because next Wednesday is when I shut down for the year. So I would like to offer you 5 of you a book unpack for $97 because my hourly rate is $5.50. So what you would need to do is text me your name and the word book unpack, the 2 words book unpack, to my mobile number that you can see on the screen, 0412085160 before midnight tonight. And then for those action takers that do it tonight, I will give you a copy of my Ninja Couch Marketing ebook as well as my Goal Setting for Success ebook because it's just perfect time to set your goals for 2014. And you can check out our website with all the information on the Ultimate 48-Hour Author. So while I've been chatting, I'll just leave this up. I'll just leave this up and I'll answer a couple of the questions that I have got here. Perfect. Leonie says, Nat, this has been so valuable. My pleasure, Leonie, and thanks for that amazing suggestion for cellular memory. Steph says, do you have an estimation for the number of pages per chapter to aim for? Yes, guys, you're aiming for about 3,300 words per chapter. I don't know how much pages that is in pages, but if you go on words, then tell me once you've done your pages. Deirdre has says, who prints your books and are they self-promoted? Absolutely. The print of the books, they're self-published. Yes, Deirdre. The books are self-published, and my publisher Blaze, who's doing currently these 5 books, here on the screen, and she's doing my ultimate 48-hour author book. She did my ninja book. She redid my weight loss book. She does provides us with a publishing package which includes 100 copies of the author's book, which then they can further reprint more depending on it. I just print myself 100 at a time. I want to tell you guys that the point is not to, I don't focus on book sales. I use the book to leverage my business via the book. So, my focus is on my bigger ticket, I guess, services and products over selling books. The books are just a lead way or a part of the sales funnel that get people to really find out a bit more about what we do, but they're not actually where you make the most profit. So I do self promote my books. I do sell them. They always cover all my publishing costs, and I always have plenty in stock in terms of, but I hold them myself. I got a royalty check from America the other day because they originally did my weight loss book. So now they send some checks, but look, they're not really big. I'm not focused on book sales. I'm interested in business growth. And this is what I say to people. If you want to sell millions of books, I'm not your girl. If you want to learn how to leverage your business through your marketing and your and increase your sales and sell then your high ticketed programs, services, packages, then come and talk to me, because I'm all about the marketing, and I'm using the book with my clients as a marketing tool. Okay, it is a marketing tool. It's not something that I say, okay, let's go out there and make this a bestseller, because there's people who promote that. So I'm the one that actually says, well, okay, we'll do the book, but then what's the next step? Because we want to know what are the next steps that we want people to take, and how are you going to get your foot in the door in terms of being a published author now, and get some speaking gigs and all of those things that they're going to bring through a lot more cash flow and profit than just selling a $30 book. So I'm very, very, very proud about the Ultimate 48-Hour Authors, that are soon to hold their books. And we're actually having in Melbourne, I don't know if not everyone on the call here is from Melbourne, but I believe it's the 13th or 14th of March next year, we're having a 12-book launch party, and we're going to get the media along. And no, it's the 14th. We're going to do it in Doncaster, a 12-book launch party. And that will be a whole lot of fun. We're going to have all of these guys there and celebrating. So, yeah, can't wait. Oh, thanks, Marianne. She's saying, love what you bring. So are there any other questions that you guys would love to ask me that you're curious about? We've got a couple of minutes. I want to finish you off on time because I know everyone's got things to do, and we're all very busy. Thank you, Ambika. Thank you for enjoying the session. I know it was a little bit with our delay, a little bit funny, but I trust that all of you receive value. And you know what? There's a lot of umming and ahhing when it comes to this, because we are thinking and we're obviously brainstorming, so it's not going to be as flawless. Thanks, Joan and Rennie. Have a great night. Amanda's asked, how many words per book should I be aiming for? 40,000 words, Amanda. Susie, Nat, amazing as always. You're welcome. Steph, excellent webinar, Nat. Thanks so much. Fun and informative. Great. Faye, thank you, Nat. Very interesting. Thank you, Rob. Great to see you on the call. Great value to Deirdre. Push me into some action. Great to see you on the call, Deirdre, as well. Thanks, Russell, also for saying that it's a great session. Good to get the rest of the group putting ideas forward. Yes. See, you guys got me started. Like I looked in the box. Thank you, Amanda. and Michelle and Rosie. As always, you're such a big help. Thank you. And thank you, Jay. Joan, I have sent you an SMS. Oh, okay, excellent, Joan. We'll do a book unpack for you. Awesome. See you, Mary, and have a great night. Darren, also have an awesome Christmas as well, everybody. And Wendy is very helpful for progressing my project. All right, guys, have a great evening, and I shall touch with you both at another time. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yeah, this is actually my very last webinar, public webinar for the year. I've got another one for my guys, for my Feb authors. But yes, Santa will bring me lots of good praises. And thanks, Brigitte. Great to see you on the call as well. All right, guys, have a great evening, and I'll catch you on another call at another stage. Bye.